everyone, John here from Brewers, and I'm back with another beer from my cellar. Today we are going back to the Bruery. I know, so soon. But we're going back to the Bruery and drinking Acer Quercus, which is a collaboration beer the Bruery made with Lawson's Finest Liquids out of Vermont. And the beer is made with Vermont maple syrup and Maplewood smoked malt. So I remember having this beer back when it came out, when it was fresh. Man, this is a tough one to open. And it was delicious. So let's see what it's like 5 years later. So right off the bat, you got a nice tan head on there. It's not quite black. It's very, very, very dark red. You can kind of see some red highlights in there. So it's not quite completely black. You still get some smokiness from the smoked malt. One thing I like about smoked beers is that the smoke generally tends to fade over time. And I'm not talking like a Rauch beer that's just all peat malt. I'm talking malt that was smoked that when you have it fresh, it's very prominent. But the thing I like doing with cellaring smoked beers is seeing how that smoke character develops over time, because it tends to meld in better with the beer, both on the aroma and on the flavor. So this is smelling good. The smoke aroma has definitely dissipated, which I like. The malt character overall on this is smelling great. You get a lot of caramel. It's almost like a candied caramel kind of thing. It has like a sweetness to it, like if you were smelling like a caramel cube, you know. That's actually a really good way to describe it. It's got a big caramel note, really nice. You do still get the maple syrup on there. It's very subtle, it's in the background. I don't think I would have been able to pick it out unless I knew that it was made with maple syrup, but it's definitely there. Everything kind of just smells really good. There's not a lot of smoke. There's a nice sweet caramel aroma to it. And yeah, the maple is just right there in the background, backing everything up. So let's give it a taste. That's tasting good. Not infected, so that's a bonus. The smokiness of the malt comes through more on the flavor than it does on the aroma. It's coming off bitter, more bitter than I expected it to be. The maple syrup aspect of it isn't really coming through. You get a sweetness on it that is really nice, but it's not oversweet to the point where it's not dry, if that makes any sense. It's a nice backbone to the whole thing, not to sound cliche. It's a little thin on the body. I expected something a little fuller, but it's not bad. Nice carbonation. Again, no signs of infection, which with the Bruery, no offense to the Bruery, sometimes they have contamination issues when they were brewing and making their sour stuff in their old facility. Now that's two separate facilities, so it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it's tasting pretty good. Overall, the carameliness of the beer, along with that smoked character, it's kind of refreshing in a way, even though it's a dark, malty kind of beer. It's really nice and it works really well. It's clean. That's a big plus. And overall, it's very tasty. So I think this has probably peaked already. It's probably on its way down, considering that it's 5 years old already. So if you have any bottles, I'd pop them open and give it a shot, or let them sit longer, see what happens. But as far as I'm concerned, the smoke character on the aroma and on the flavor is pretty much where I like it to be, which is there but subtle. So good job to the Bruery and Lawson's Finest Liquids, and that's one less beer in my cellar.